Hi, I'm Chris.
I'm Bebbo.
And I'm Millsy.
Each week, we're going to unleash the thrill of sporting discourse as we debate some of the hottest topics across the globe.
With insightful analysis, diverse perspectives, and engaging discussions, we strive to entertain and inform as we tug at the fabric of social morality.
We dive into the ultimate court of conversation and feel the friction of mass debated sports.
Welcome back, listeners, to episode 18 of the Mass Debated Sports podcast. I want to apologise in advance for my nasal sounding tones. I sound worse than normal, not only from my English accent, but also because I've got COVID from Brisbane, and that's why I stay as way clear as Brisbane as possible. But I had a great weekend watching some live sport. But before we hear about my weekend, Chris, how was your weekend, mate?
Mate, better than yours, boss. Well, apart from the sport, that sounded great. But yeah, mate, no, pretty quiet. Pretty quiet as always, mate. I'm just kicking back with the fams and watching a bit of sport here and there. So, yeah, at least I don't have COVID. Unlucky for you, mate.
Awesome. And then, Bebbo, your weekend was shit, as I think you said last weekend. So, any better this weekend?
Yeah, mate. Went to the Cowboys game, got a win over the Doggies. We've been saying on the podcast for so long, Cowboys in 3 years to win a premiership, haven't you, Chris? So they knocked off the Doggies on Sunday. That made up for Wednesday's heartbreak, obviously, with the Origin. Congratulations, New South Wales, but we won't talk about that too much more. We've dribbled on with that shit for too long. But you've obviously had a good weekend in Brisbane, Millsy. You're blaming COVID, mate, but you sound full. I mean, there's hookers that knock off work and their noses aren't as runny as you. So, tarp up, big fella.
Yeah. Oh, bloody hell. No, it was a really good weekend, actually. So, kicked it off by going to the Crocoseum on the way down, where we were graced with Robert Irwin and his crocodile hunting skills. But more importantly, we went to watch the Reds versus Wales game at Suncorp on Friday night. Bit of an unusual game, that one. Never really get to see an international team play a club team, but with the current state of rugby affairs in Wales, Wales are actually probably just above average club team anyway. So essentially it was two club teams going at it, and Reds did better than expected. I actually had a bet on that Wales would pump them by 50 because I thought they should have against a Reds B team, but ended up cheering for the Reds at the end when they were up by about 4 points with less than sort of 3 minutes on the clock. But unfortunately, Wales got over the line at the end.
Did the Reds have any of their Wallaby players in, Millsy, or
no? So that's what I mean. Like, it was
so,
pure
so
Reds
even
B team
worse.
almost.
Yeah, right. Okay.
I was about to say, can I take everything I said back on the last podcast about Australia being... Mate, that's a horrible... The result against Georgia, that's horrible.
That result flattered. I don't know, it flattered both teams actually, but yeah, I was going to bring that up, Chris. Just prove my expertise in that space, mate.
Mate, still undefeated. Australia's Wallabies still undefeated in the Schmidt era, mate. Leave them alone.
They are. But I wonder when we're going to start calling it the shit era.
Win's a win.
yeah, I'll take it.
Yeah.
As soon as they start playing New Zealand or South Africa, I'm assuming.
You can see the Corey Mail now, can't you?
What do you reckon? SCHM and then like asterisk exclamation mark T or something like that. Like, yeah.
Correct. Something like that, yeah.
But yeah. No, you're right though. But I mean, you can only beat what's in front of you, and they managed to do that, which is three good club teams. So good on you, Australia. And then Saturday night had a bit of a win at the casino, which was nice. And then Sunday we went to watch the Brisbane Lions, where I bought this hat, play the Swans, and that was a bloody awesome game actually. Probably one of the best sporting spectacles I've been to in Australia. And yes, Lions got up, which was good for the multi that I had, but unfortunately it was lower than the required total game points. But it was awesome to see the Lions get 7th win in a row, and yeah, we've got a really good balanced team it seems. So I'm excited to see how far they can go in the comp.
Do you think that AFL's way better live Millsy?
Yeah, 100%. Because you can see the whole pitch. You can see stuff before it happens on TV. You just can't. You kick the ball and you be like, "Oh, is that going someone in our team or their team?" You don't know until the ball gets there.
There's always something going on when it's live, eh? Whether it's in the back play or off the ball, it's just There's never a dull spot in the field to look at.
But also seeing the size of the pitch and how far these fellas kick it. That's also quite impressive. Like, notwithstanding that as well. But no, it's just on the line. So like they've got a really good blend of some senior players. I say senior, they're probably younger than me, which is nuts when you think about it. And then got really good youngsters as well. Don't mean to make you chaps feel older than me, but it's hopefully they'll go one better. You got to lose one to win one, so hopefully this is their winning one. But that table is so tight. Do you reckon you got the ladder?
Do you reckon you got COVID at the Crocosleum? Where did you pick it up?
Yeah, maybe. What was I was named Bruce or something? Croc that we had do a show. Maybe I got a bit too close to him. Maybe I got bird flu. Maybe the COVID test picks up bird flu as well because they fly those parrots around, don't they? In the
you got to stay away from those shows, mate.
Warming up the.
Bird flu is very common in aviaries at zoos, mate. 100%.
Well, yeah. No, I don't know, but yeah, it was a bloody good weekend, and drive back on Monday was a tough one, but we made it in one piece, and here I am. I also want to point out I'm in new digs for the listeners, and I'm still getting used to the acoustics. Pardon my language. And English. So apologies for the bit of echo that you might have heard last week. I've tried to improve that a bit, so we'll see how that goes this time. Anyway, enough about me. Let's talk about some sport, Howie. So, got a good lineup this week, and we're paying homage to the Paris Olympics, which are you think kicking off or flaming off this week? I don't know what you
tomorrow
describe that, but anyway, tonight I think Australia versus Samoa in the rugby sevens is happening at 11:30 from the schedule that I saw, but I could be wrong. I'm not watching that. Fuck that. We're going to talk about some of our favourite Olympic moments, some stuff that we're looking forward to the most for the upcoming Paris Games. We've got a slight little twist on our typical Massive Sports Cup of the Week section in, again, homage to general affairs and with the presidential race going on in America. And then we'll go on to NRL chat, and we'll completely avoid all talk about Origin because Bebbo's done more than I wanted to discuss on that already. And then we'll finish off with our financial advice multi at the end. So strap in.
Good shout, Millsy. I'm too dehydrated still from the tears, but yeah, let's just move on. Who cares? We only care about women's Origin in Queensland anyway.
That's it, 100%. Cool. All right, so let's talk about the Paris Olympics then, chaps, and we'll start with some of our favourite memories over the years. So I'll start with yourself, Bebbo. You want to give us an insight into Bebbo's Olympic memories? Oh
yeah, all right. So Australia, obviously, they're in all my famous memories here because I'm a proud Australian, but we weren't really that good for a long time, I guess. It's only been the last 2 decades we've really won, I guess, consistently. So mine don't date back super far, but okay, number one, we've got Kathy Freeman's gold medal winning run in the women's 400 at the 2000 Sydney Olympics. Caused a bit of a stir after the race, carrying both an Australian and Aboriginal flag together. Didn't fly too well with a few people, but certainly didn't overshadow that amazing achievement of winning a gold medal in a track event without being of African descent. Also at the Sydney Games, Michael Klim playing the air guitar after the men's 4x100 metre freestyle relay in mockery of America's Gary Hall Jr., who claimed pre-race that the US team would smash everyone like guitars. Fuck you, Yanks. And my third favourite memory was former Iron Man, I should say, Clint Robinson, who actually grew up in my childhood town. He took home the gold in the K1000 metre kayak event at the 92 Barcelona Olympics. He actually came to the primary school I was at the time when he returned to Australia. We got to see his gold medal, touch it, and all that sort of thing, which was pretty cool, I guess, at that age. And I'm pretty sure, if my memory serves me correct, Holden was the sponsor of the Olympics team for a certain period, and everyone won a gold medal, got given a golden Commodore. So there's just a bonus memory there for that one. But yeah,
Wow.
I know. They're my three most memorable moments, I think.
Yeah, and that's a good set, mate. And like you, I've also gone patriotic on purpose. But before we hear mine, what about you, Chris? What's your favourite memories?
Mine's not super patriotic. Mine's quite varied, and so I'll go to the 2000 Olympics.
Yeah, actually, I was about to say, who do you support in the Olympics?
New Zealand. New Zealand. We've had a couple of good moments. But,
there was once a 15th place finish in a javelin event.
You forget our famous power
Isn't that
walkers.
woman, that transgender weightlifter in the Olympics? Did she not make it? There'd been a chance for a
I
gold.
remember, yeah, that's right. That bloke. Yeah. No. So
That
I'll
was
go
a
to
Commonwealth
the.
Games, wasn't it?
It was a Com Games. You're right. It was. I'm going to go to the. I'll steal from Bebbo as well. I'll go to the 2000 Olympics, and the famous moment with Eric the Earl Musambini who broke the world record for the slowest ever, the slowest ever 100-meter freestyle race. So that was an amazing moment, and he'll forever live on in our memories for the great eel. Second one, this is a more serious one. Beijing 2008, when Matt Mitchum needed to pull out the highest score in diving history in his last dive to win gold, and did so, and obviously stopped the Chinese clean sweeping the diving there. So that was a pretty emphatic moment for Australia and the diving. And lastly, we had our good mate of the podcast, Bruce Jenner, winning in the 1976 decathlon, setting an Olympic record of 8,634 points. Such an amazing achievement for a young lady. So they're my three amazing moments.
Eric the Eel's the best one there. How did
Eric
he even
Eel,
qualify?
mate.
I don't get it. Like, he was nearly drowned. How did he qualify?
Wasn't it when I think it was back in the days when I think it still is, if you dive in before the buzzer, I guess, goes, then you disqualify. I'm pretty sure everyone in his prelim.
No, he did.
DQ'd.
I think what he's trying to get
race
to.
against anyone.
Yeah, but I think what Bebbo was trying to get at is, how did he get there in the first
How did he make
place?
the Olympics? Yes.
That's equivalent of you and I. That's equivalent of you and I turning up to the 100
qualifier.
metres. Yeah, but it's equivalent of you and I turning up to the 100-metre sprint final. They're going, who's this bloke?
Don't drag me down to your level, mate. I'm rapid.
You have a minimum time that you've got to make it in, Millsy. Doesn't matter if you're the best in your country. If your country's slow as shit, no one's going. That's how it is. They're not just sending you because you're the best in your country.
Can I say what an amazing sporting moment, and of all the places for it to happen, Australia, like, it's so good in the 2000 Olympics. What a place for it to happen! Like, I don't know if any other country would have appreciated like Australia. That crowd.
Oh no, not at all. No way.
It's getting cheered on.
This is
It's
what
getting
it says.
cheered
So
on
you
like
got-
the gold medal final. Yeah.
So he gained entry to the Olympics without meeting the minimum qualification requirements via a wild card draw designed to encourage participation by developing countries lacking full training facilities. Anyone watching that, I don't think would have gained much motivation to join.
Well, you never know. He got a free holiday to Australia, mate.
He's the
that's
cool
true.
runnings of the
Well,
swimming
wasn't there?
world.
I think it was in. No, that's true. But I think wasn't there the shot putter in the 100-meter
not 'cause he's
sprint
black
in
too.
Rio when he did it? Do you remember that? No. There was that shot putter. Shot putter. Oh, this is good radio, isn't it? Shot putter running 100 meters. I remember this.
We at Masturbated
Yeah.
Sports understand that
Belgium.
everyone listening loves listening to Millsy do homework while they're involved. So yeah.
This is what the debaters come for, isn't it? Though, you know, the insights that they wouldn't get elsewhere.
We should put a
Yeah,
replay. Can we watch
she,
a replay? Can we
Shot
put a
putter from
replay of it?
Belgium. We
Yeah,
can
where's the
indeed.
replay?
Actually, I will share my screen.
Can we just watch the last
How
minute?
about this?
Because I think it's pretty long, so we don't want to watch the whole thing. But
It's only someone. It's
It's
on
a-
X, formerly known as Twitter. So
100 metres. How long did
mighty
it
is-
take you to get there?
15 minutes.
all right, you should be able to skip this. Look at that. Love and life. Here we
Oh,
go.
it's hurdles too. Holy shit.
Yeah.
It's not just a straight line. Oh, she just mowed them down?
Oh, fine. This is sped up as well, by the way.
Oh, I want to watch the normal version.
Looks like,
I love the follow through as well. Like she sprinted off like she needed to slow
Yeah,
down
like-
a fair bit after the end.
she needed 30 metres to slow down when she was at walking pace. It's like that dynamic
There we go.
stretching where you just like, put your leg up over the fence, outside in, inside out, over the fence.
Yeah.
That's what she was
Exactly.
doing. She was just warming up for a shot put event by doing hurdles.
Yeah, 100%. Well, you're welcome. How much enjoyment did that give you? So, shut up, you idiots.
Mild amount.
All right, my turn. So, like I said, patriotic, because I know you fellas wouldn't have gone for anything Team GB. So, 2012 London Games have to start with Super Saturday for me. Similar to what you were saying, Bebbo. Team GB never... They do all right in track. You go back to Jonathan Edwards and the triple jump and stuff like that. But Super Saturday was a bit of an anomaly where we won 3 golds with Jess Ennis Hill now, Greg Rutherford and Mo Farah in the heptathlon, long jump, and I think it was the 10,000 on the Saturday because he won the 5,000 as well a couple of days before. All winning back-to-back events, which was pretty cool, especially in the home Olympics. We've got to go back to Sydney 2000 as well, where Steve Redgrave won his 5th gold. Now, I was only 6 at the time, so I don't really remember much of it, but I remember the moment. And when you're young and you remember stuff, you don't remember details, but I remember all my family standing around the TV watching it, and I've obviously watched it back since, and it's just one that's stuck in the memory a bit. But yeah, you read about it, and especially with his tender age of 38 back then, it's a fantastic achievement, especially after he vowed never to get back in the boat after the '96 Olympics. So
What event was it, Millsy?
Oh, it's the quad rowing. 2000
Skulls or whatever it is.
Yeah, Steve Redgrave for 2K rowing.
Skulls.
I thought it was, yeah. That was awesome. And then another one from London 2012, and it's a bit of an outsider, but at the time I was really into cycling. So Bradley Wiggins, having won the Tour de France for the first time ever as a Brit, he won the time trial as well, and just absolute clean the floor with the rest of the field. Tony Martin came second from Germany. I think it was like 50 seconds behind, and just an absolute dominant display. And it just epitomises the strength that Team GB had in the cycling world at the time, and started a bit of a dynasty there. So that was that was an awesome thing to watch. Never in doubt as well. I love watching games or your team or your favorite athletes are just dominating from the outset, and it's never in doubt that they're going to win. So that was definitely one of the moments. And I also encourage the listeners to go and have go on YouTube and listen to the post cycle interview. It's one of the most honest and open discussions that you'll ever see, and it's a bit refreshing after hearing all the shitty sportsmen we now hear in interviews talking about how it's a team sport, every game is the next one, stuff. Nah, it's just open and honest, saying it's
But
not
it
going to
is.
get better
Full
for
credit
me.
goes to the boys always.
It gets a bit repetitive, doesn't it? But that is refreshing, like I said, and it's just open and heartfelt, and yeah, you can really feel the emotion. So yeah, really good moment and memory for me in that sense. Cool. All right. So looking ahead to this Paris Olympics, then starting with you, Chris. Is there anything that you're particularly interested in for this time around, or is it you're not gonna watch it? Like, what are your feelings towards the whole event?
No, I think like we talked previously on the podcast, or we made mention of this around the timing. Obviously it's in Paris, so in terms of time zones, it's going to be difficult for us here in Australia to watch a lot of stuff live. But so it'll be time dependent for me. But typically, the stuff that I like to watch, obviously with the jiu-jitsu background and that kind of background, things like wrestling, judo. I like to watch those events, and obviously watching New Zealand win gold in the rugby sevens. You say we're trash at the Olympics, but we should win the rugby sevens. So watching the rugby sevens, but
More
interestingly, we better win it. But interestingly, looking at some of the new sports they're bringing in too. One in particular, I was talking to my wife about it this morning and talking about, I suppose, the Olympics and the new sports they're bringing in. But I don't know if you guys saw that the breakdancing is making its debut this year.
Yeah. Yeah.
How do you feel about how do you feel about that?
I'm not going to watch it. I can tell you that for free.
No.
My obvious, I don't know. My obvious reaction is why.
Well, so I think that
what makes a sport, I guess.
But I think my gut feel is why they do it, or why they're doing it, and why they're bringing in a lot of these sports. So I had a quick look at some of the changes of the game. So I'll just do a quick spin through for you. So artistic swimming, men this year have got a artistic swimming division. Boxing, there's a new women's weight class.
Is that like synchronized swimming, but by yourself, or what?
No, team, blokes, men.
Oh,
so
okay.
for the first time in Olympic history,
swimming,
men are included in the artistic swimming competition. Artistic swimming also now includes a team acrobatic routine, which will debut in Paris. Boxing, new women's weight class. Sailing, 2 kite events have been added to the Olympic schedule. Shooting, mixed skeet and mixed team track and field, the marathon, race walk, mixed relay comes to the Olympics, replacing the men's 50k race walk. Volleyball and weightlifting, there's a number of weight classes have gone from 14 to 10. Then you've got breakdancing. Then you've got the speed climbing, or sport climbing. So they had speed climbing at the last Olympics.
That, actually.
They've now got bouldering as well. So they've got 2 events in that. But going back to the breakdancing side of things, I think that what they're trying to do is they're trying to stay relevant. So they've got skateboarding, they've got breakdancing, they've got all these sort of weird and wonderful kind of sports in there now. And I think it's an attempt to try and stay relevant to a younger audience, perhaps. Maybe viewer numbers have been down in previous Olympics. I'm not really sure, but breakdancing's an odd one for me.
Mm.
Look, it's not just odd. It's ridiculous. So breakdancing, they brought in freestyle BMX in the last one. Australia won gold, but it's like fucking stupid. Skateboarding, like you mentioned, they're not Olympic sports. They're sports at the X Games. Leave them at the X Games. That's what the X Games is for.
Correct.
You know what I mean? I don't even like most of the team sports that they've got in the Olympics. I mean, why have rugby sevens? They pretty much play a worldwide competition every second week.
Correct.
What's the Olympics to them?
Gold medal.
They're not amateurs. Yeah, like you've got basketball. It's just dominated by the NBA players. You've got tennis. It's the same people who were at Wimbledon fucking 2 weeks ago. What is the point of having these sports at the Olympics, which is an every 4-year event? It's like the World Cup for athletics. And you're just letting these sports come in that have their own comps. That's always right. I think if they're going to keep those sports.
I just want to jump in. I do actually agree with 90% of what you said, but the one thing I don't agree with is the basketball. And the only reason I say that is there's no world competition.
Yeah, there is. There's a FIBA World Cup. There's a FIBA World Cup.
No, basketball, not soccer.
Oh, no, I'm just saying that they're full. No, FIBA, FIBA, mate. FIBA World Cup. They play a World Cup in basketball.
Oh,
they're all professionals. Olympics is for the amateurs. If they're going to keep team sports in, they've got to be under 23 or they've got to be amateurs. That's it. You can't have guys play.
Usain Bolt's a professional.
You can't have LeBron James come in at 38 years old to win an Olympic gold. Are you fucking serious? Like, why some poor person in the marathon walking has starved themselves to death for 28 years trying to fucking qualify for the Olympics. LeBron James rocks in his private fucking jet just to go to the Olympics to win a basketball gold. It's an absolute fucking joke. If you were a professional sportsman in a professional league, you should not be eligible for the Olympics. If they want to have basketball in the Olympics, it should be for amateurs or under 23s. That's it. Just like they do with the soccer.
Every sprinter you'll see in the 100-meter final and heats will be professional. So you're saying none of them can compete?
They're professional. Why? Because they get sponsored and they get paid through sponsorship. Is that what you're getting at?
Well, yeah,
they don't sign a $9 million 2-year contract.
How do basketball get their money? They're entertainment. Who sponsors entertainment? Companies. They're paid through the same methods, just through a different means.
You're right, 100%.
It's all sponsorship.
No, you're right there. I get that. But...
So what, you're saying they can't compete because they get paid and they do it full time? You just want to see amateurs? I wouldn't watch the Olympics if it was just amateurs, to be quite frank. I want to see the best of the best.
I'm saying team sports should be amateurs. Team sports should be amateurs.
Well, so relays? That's a team.
Oh, fuck, mate. You got to know the top here. I'll tell you what. Absolutely ridiculous. Yeah, Usain Bolt might get paid through sponsorships. These runners might get paid through sponsorships. None of them sign $700 million max contracts over 8 years, do they? No, they don't lock. They're not locked into a point where their financial security is locked down. They can just train forever and not have to worry about it. That they haven't. I think it's different. I think team sports have crept into the Olympics and ruined it. The Olympics should be the best person, not the best group of people. Yes, relays, fine. Sculls, fours, like we talked about, fine. Fucking basketball, rugby, all that shit. You're kidding me. You got people winning gold medals who are the people that did nothing for a group project and got an A+. That's a fucking joke.
The reason I do like sevens in that, and the reason I said basketball I like it, is just because, well, maybe it's a bit naivety from me, but I never really got the opportunity to see the American, the FIBA World Cup. I don't know, but I'm assuming this, that America don't turn out. Like, you don't get LeBron, you don't get Steph Curry playing in that. They do turn out for the Olympics, so it is pretty cool to see the big names turn up in the team together. All right, and notwithstanding they nearly lost to South Sudan the other day, so maybe
watch the NBA All-Star game.
Yeah, but again, they don't put the effort in, do they? But they actually seem to turn up a little bit better than they do for the Olympics.
They don't turn up for that, and that's why they don't deserve to be in the Olympics, because they don't. Turn up. They turn up when it suits them. Let's fuck them off.
But the reason that the soccer doesn't work, and they do what you say, Bebbo, they have to pick a quota under 23, and they can't have fully professionals throughout the entire team. It's like why Team GB don't have any players in the Premier League, even though England just got to the final. The same with Spain; like they don't have the Spanish team playing, and they do that. But I don't watch that because it's shit. I'm not going to watch a second-rate thing like that. I don't agree that soccer should be in the Olympics. I don't think it is. Same with tennis. Don't think that should be in. That's not a team sport. That's individuals. Don't think that should be in. I don't think it's anything to do with team or anything like that. I think it's to do with. I don't know what the metric is, how you gauge it, but it's just done on feeling, right? And I'm not gonna watch tennis. I'm not gonna watch golf. I don't know if it's in it this year, but I definitely don't. Yeah. I don't watch it anyway. But that should not be in it. Well,
no, it shouldn't. It shouldn't.
Be. Just some sports to me just have an Olympic feel or a pull, and some sports just don't. Cricket, for example, should not be in the Olympics. I don't know why I'm saying that, but it just shouldn't, in my opinion.
Surfing.
Rugby sevens. I honestly have a neutral feeling about surfing. I'm not going to watch it, but cool, it's in.
Should be.
I don't really have. But something like rugby sevens, I actually do kind of agree with in a sense because it's not the 15s game.
No, I disagree.
Okay, so you're not going to have running. You're not going to have running in. You're not going to have marathon running in the Olympics because they have their own diamond league and they do all that stuff.
I'm with Bebbo. I'm with Bebbo. What he said. I'm with Bebbo. What he said about the sevens rugbies. Like they play a tournament every other week, and that's what they play in. Like, why not have MMA in there?
Yeah. Well, they do running every other week. And they have that in the Olympics, and that shouldn't be in just because they do it every other week.
Yeah, but here's the thing, though, Millsy. With a runner, and you talked about relays being a team sport, if I am useless, if I fail my teammates in the relay, we don't win a medal. If I fuck up in the rugby or sit on the bench the entire time, I could still win a gold. Gold medals should be...
What about hockey?
for champions. Yeah, okay, hockey is a contentious point, but hockey's been in the Olympics for a fucking long time. So is water polo, for that matter.
So don't bring any new sports in. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying, actually, because they're the only reason that people ever watch hockey or ever watch water polo. Do you think people watching them as a professional, like outside of the Olympics? Never. I actually watch European handball at the Olympics.
Not to the same extent. People still watch it. Right?
There's a European Handball League, obviously running through fucking
It's
Eastern
massive,
Europe there, but I'm assuming no one watches it that much. Go to the Olympics. I'm watching European handball at the Olympics.
Only 'cause
if
you're
rugby
betting on
league
it.
was if rugby league was at the Olympics, it's actually because like a lot of those Scandinavian countries' female teams
because you're a degenerate.
Smoking. Oh yes, 100%. They're fucking hot. But
It's because you're up at 2 in the morning. There's nothing else to bet on.
Pornhub just doesn't cut it these days. All right.
Have you got your Stan subscription ready?
I know what you're saying, right? I get it. I understand the premise that I'm a bit hypocritical in what I'm saying there. I'm happy for them to take all those team sports out too. The competitors aren't probably that happy. But for me, the essence of the Olympics is people on an even playing field going against each other. That's why I'd said surfing shit too, because, yep, you're out in the ocean together and you're in your heats together and all this sort of shit. But waves are a bit unpredictable. If you get the perfect wave and you get the perfect score, you get the goal. Does that necessarily mean you're better? Maybe. Does it mean that you've lucked into the better wave? Possibly. There is no luck on a 100-metre racetrack. It's just you versus the 9 guys or 8 guys next to you. Like, that's what it is. They're the sports that need to stay. All the ones with variables and things like that, fuck them off.
The only sport I can think of which does not have variables is darts.
Oh, really?
And even that's questionable if that's a sport.
There's no variables. Darts is a variable. Who goes first?
Well, you can practice for that, can't you?
No.
You can't practice for every condition that you run in.
Yeah, you can.
Wind condition.
Run every day, mate, and then you practice for every condition. Everyone else is running in the same conditions. You're not running. It's not a time trial. You're not doing your run.
It's still a variable.
No, the only variable would be if you take your run and then the next person runs after you and the wind's picked up behind them. They got a tailwind or something. That's the only variable. You're running at the same time. The exact same
Take
time.
rugby, right? You play 10,000 hours. Chances are you'd have been in the exact same position sometime in your training or in another match in previous life. Are you saying that's not a variable now that I'm not doing it or I'm doing it again?
It's a team sport. There's variables in team sports fucking everywhere. That's why I'm saying get rid of them. I feel like you're missing. I feel like you're just trying to find a flaw in this.
I just disagree entirely.
Yeah, all right. Well, you're wrong.
No, what I'm saying is, I don't know the metric, right? Some sports have got an Olympic feel. The reason that I do like sevens, it's not a mainstream sport, right? Someone in China is not going to watch sevens. They're just not. Someone in, I don't know, Eastern Europe is not going to watch it. Just because we watch it day in, day out does not mean that it's better than another sport. People in Eastern Europe probably might not watch handball because they watch it and might have the same opinion as you. But like you said, because we don't get that exposure to it, you might want to watch it. Same thing with that. Fiji, for example, sevens is their national sport, right? And they love it. And it was amazing to see them win the golden COVID sniffle. Apologies, everyone. What's that?
I'm with you, Bebbo. Fuck them all off. They're garbage.
Yeah, fuck it.
Hit a man while he's down, right?
We don't need it. We'll hit you while you're here. I don't give a fuck.
And this is why we don't have a studio, right? or in Ralph's studio, should I say. I've lost my train of thought, but essentially...
You were going with Fiji.
I totally agree. It's like... Fiji. They won the gold. The reason I feel like sevens should be in there is because...
You love rugby.
Most of the sevens players... Yeah, but it's also not a mainstream sport. You know what I mean? Like, I would encourage rugby league players to, try out for the sevens teams. You know what I mean? Like, I think it's a good leveler.
What?
No, they shouldn't.
And then essentially they'd be amateurs because they don't play rugby sevens professionally.
Well, and then they're going to take away. Then they're going to take away from a rugby.
Playing for France.
Then they're going to take away from a spot from a rugby guy.
Yeah.
What's wrong with that? It's the same sport, just played a little bit different, isn't it?
It's not an Olympic sport. It's not an Olympic sport, mate. What are they going to put touch football in there next, are they? Flag football. Let's bring in flag football.
No, I'm not saying this. I'm saying things like breakdancing I don't really have an opinion for because I don't know enough about it, right? But I agree, it's probably not the best forum for it. X Games makes more sense, even if it's going to go into a Games. I'm not sure we've answered that one yet, and I don't think we agree on if it should or not. But things like basketball, I can't explain why. I just feel like it's an Olympic sport, and it's cool to see other countries play America on a global stage. I don't even know the FIBA thing existed, but I know the Olympics exists, and I've followed the Olympics my entire life. Like one of my highlights is from Sydney 2000 when I was only 6, like I said. So some things have got an Olympic feel about them. Even though in Rio, LeBron James, Steph Curry, they hired out a $1 billion yacht instead of staying in the accommodation. That's just, I don't know, just something about the Olympics when you get that sort of David versus Goliath thing. You know, I don't know what it is. I don't know what metric you can do it on, but you can't just say ban all team sport. You can't just say ban all professionals because you'd lose the top and you just lose the Olympics then.
That Dave versus Goliath thing would still exist if they played under 23s. You know, you'd have Serbia with their under 20 team give America a fucking red hot crack, and that would be just as good as an idea. But honestly, it's just I don't like it one bit at all. It's bringing.
You can't just do a blanket rule, right?
You
can't just do a blanket rule. You can't say no team sports, no professionals.
Well,
because you literally get shit.
In boxing, until the last 2 Olympics or 3 Olympics, if you turned professional, you weren't allowed to go back into the boxing. So why were you not allowed to enter? How were you not allowed to enter the boxing as a professional? Yet basketball players are going in every year, tennis players, golfers are going in every year. But a boxer, he takes one pro fight, that's it. He's ineligible for the Olympics. I mean, pro boxing and amateur boxing, completely different beasts. Completely different beasts. So
and that's why,
what's it matter?
Well, that's why they did it, right? Because
what?
Well, it's every sport on its own merits, isn't it? You can't just do a blanket rule. I think we're agreeing on that, as we said. But you can't. What we've just said, you can't have Olympic professionals, so you won't have the fastest 100-meter runners in the world running.
That's athletics. The Olympics is for athletics. If you're a professional athlete, like athletics. Event athlete.
So
go for gold. That is literally what the Olympics is. Team sports weren't the premise of the Olympics. So you should be able to come in as a $50 million a year star and play against fucking Nikolai from Hungary, who's a 21-year-old waiter who can barely fucking afford to feed his family, let alone train all day. That's what I'm saying, mate. It is so outweighed and fucking stupid that the American can put in a dream team or that Josh Giddey can come back and play for Australia along with the rest of the fucking Australian NBA players. There's enough Australian players who aren't the NBA that they can play or aren't the NBL that can play. Throw them together. Every team should do that. And then you'd probably get people that have to take a moral standpoint. Do I want to win an Olympic gold? How much am I willing to sacrifice for this Olympic gold? Or am I just going to take the money and go pro? Because that is what it's been for fucking ever.
Well, it hasn't been forever, has it? Because basketball's been professional for a while.
Well,
and that's
you know what I mean. Before that, don't take me so.
Yeah, but it's not black and white like you're saying. It's a massive grey area. The Olympics have been around forever. Swimming was only introduced after the Olympics. It wasn't one of the originals.
Yeah, but how many people get paid to swim outside of lifesavers? I mean, fucking Jesus.
Oh, Magnuson gets paid by the enhanced games, the shitty unit. But I don't know. I don't know what the swimming sponsorship deals are like, but I know they don't got to work for a living.
Swimming's been in there forever.
Like
swimming's
right?
But swimming's not the issue.
Hasn't
that's
been
been
forever.
that's
been since day one.
No, not since day one. But I think if we go back to right back to what breakdancing's coming in, where do you draw the line? That's the main thing. Is like, what's next? Next is going to be fucking rap battles and magic tricks and shit like that. Yeah, you know what I mean? It's just be like, it's like,
Watch that.
Laughing.
where do you draw the? Yeah, where do you draw the?
Podcasting.
Where do you draw? Yeah, podcasting. Where do you draw the line? And I think that's what for
We
me
wouldn't,
is.
we wouldn't be involved.
No,
We'd
no.
be the Eric Beale.
It just takes a shine off it for me. Like it's just not the shine off it, but once you start putting silly shit in there, you know, it's kind of like, you know, like that stupid cup stacking. Like that'll be next. You know, it'll be Rubik's cube solving. It'll be like first time. Like, you know, like take your pick. That's where it's kind of headed. And I think when I saw breakdancing today, or the last couple of days looking at that, I thought to myself, I don't know. You know what? The funny thing is, it'll probably turn out to be really rad, and we'll be coming back in a couple of weeks, and we'll be like, "How good was the breakdancing? That was unreal."
Loving it.
There's actually shout out.
I do agree with what you're saying, Chris. Like,
there's actually a kid from the Gold Coast, from the Tweed. So he's a 14, 15, or he might be a bit old, 19, whatever, but from the Tweed. So good luck to him. But yeah, anyway.
I'm not disagreeing with the premise the Olympics has got ridiculous. Right. What I am disagreeing with is it's not a black and white rule for no professionals, no one over the age of 23, no team sports. It's I don't know how. I think they do an Olympic committee vote for sports to come in. I think they should widen it to, you know, spectators to vote on these sorts of things, because at the end of the day, we're the people that've got to put up with this shit. And like you say, Chris, talking about breakdancing coming to the Olympics, not talking about who's going to win the 100 meters, which is what we should be talking about, right? It's taken away from the actual premise of it, and it's. I love the Olympics, but I just worry that they're sort of rabbit in the headlights, being like, "Oh fuck, we need to, you know, put this in because it's the next big thing." Stick to your tradition.
On
that
relevant,
premise,
yeah.
okay, so we've gotten well off top. We got well off topic because Chris was talking about how they've brought in this new events to stay relevant. So none of us else have said what we're actually looking forward to. So this might this might actually be a good case study right here, Millsy, to what you just said about talking to the spectators. Because the things I look forward to in most Olympics: one, swimming. Australia, clean up in the pool. It's quite good. Everyone loves winning when you're Australian. 2, 100 metre, 200 metre, and 400 metre track events. Australia never win them, but love them. Something
It's cool to see people run
magical,
quick, isn't it?
mesmerising about people who can fucking run fast. It's brilliant to watch. Love it. Michael Johnson back in the day. Oh, so good. All right. And I don't mind the velodrome. You talked about it earlier. The cycling in the velodrome. The sprints especially, they're good. The team event's great. The sprints, they're always fun. A little bit of excitement there.
A team event.
Yeah.
We wouldn't allow team events.
No, but the sprint, oh, fuck me. Like I said, someone lets you down in that team event, the whole team really suffers. You can't just bench them. But anyhow, the sprint. I said the sprint, especially in the velodrome. Yeah. So what's yours?
So the three I'm looking forward to. So as you said, the athletics, but I'm actually really looking forward to the longer distances ones this time around, mainly because of the PED abuse that's gone on up to this point, and basically 2 Kenyans are getting nicked a week for PED abuse. So we're going to see some records tumble in that, I'm sure. And then I'm also just going to enjoy any talk about the inevitable PED abuse across the games and the justification chats around the enhanced games. No doubt that will be something that will crop up during it. And then I've actually got, I don't know if you chaps have seen this on the news, but I'm looking forward to any event, mainly the triathlon, with the swimming in the Seine after the poo campaign that's been going on in France. So the Parisian government have basically spent, I don't know, a fair chunk of euros trying to clean up the Seine, because it's a disgusting brown snake through the capital city, which has got years and years of bodies and, you know, fecal matter and stuff floating through it. Anyway, there's this campaign, and people are saying they should have invested that money in, I don't know, liberals and stuff. Anyway, there's a website, depending on where you live on the Seine, it's told you when you should poo in the Seine, so it all arrives during the triathlon event. So the competitors will be swimming through poo. So I'm looking forward to seeing how they defend against that.
That is fun.
So yeah, that's going to be funny to follow. And then I'm actually looking forward to rock climbing. That is one thing I think is pretty awesome if you've seen it. They're legit. Probably I don't even know a rock climber name. I don't even know there's only famous ones, but I'm looking forward to seeing what's that about. It's obviously a growing sport. I know a lot of mates in the UK have done rock climbing as a pastime. So yeah, be interesting to see how Spider-Man humans are becoming. But they're my four. But yeah,
none of it.
basketball and breakdancing aren't on there, right?
Yeah. So there you go. We've all picked like proper Olympic events there. No one's talked about, I want to watch the rugby sevens. I'm interested in watching the tennis. I'm interested in watching the basketball. Like you talked about basketball for so long, and it's not even any thing to look at.
Well, I'm just saying, like, unusual things. Like, I'm going to enjoy watching it, and I'd enjoy watching it every game. So I've just gone for the unique stuff, which I think will be this game. So I enjoy watching the swimming. I don't write that as well. But
what we didn't mention is watching the Chinese swim team win gold in any event, because the moment they win one, there's going to be a shit show of people come for them over the PED tests. Have you heard that they've been tested apparently 5 to 7 times each since they've arrived in France? Each
we're not
Chinese swim team.
Any results till after the Olympics anyway. Oh, it takes that long. But so I don't know if you chaps know the backstory, but I did do the research a couple of months ago, and I still remember it vaguely. But I think 25 Chinese swimmers all got tested for positive. WADA did an investigation and basically came back inconclusive to say that they hadn't all been group drug testing, and there was insufficient evidence to say that there was not a contaminated thing, and they just cancelled the investigation. So, I mean, as sketchy as you like, right? The same thing as the bloody COVID investigation. No, there's not enough evidence, therefore we can't make an assumption. I mean, all of the positive tests, and the A sample and the B sample, and they retested, and the A sample and the B sample were both positive. So that's not a contamination. That's drug testing. What more evidence do you need?
Oh, no, they said it was contaminated, that they ingested it through contaminated food at the hotel. So it's not their fault that they ate it. But you've got other people like Shane and Jack in the past, Australian swimmer Shane and Jack in the past, say the same thing, that it was in a supplement she took, like a protein powder that she took, and she didn't knowingly ingest it. She still got 2 years, and they got fucking nothing. They got to compete in the Tokyo Games like 2 months later.
Yeah. So, like I said, as soon as that first Chinese swimmer wins the gold, they're nicked, right? Traditionally, China aren't good at swimming. Fundamentally, they're not good at swimming, right? They haven't been for a while. So if you look at the trajectory of some of these events, right, you can draw parallels to say, what's changed with that country? You don't just grow good at swimming overnight. You'd see a steady change in, first Olympics in 2000. They won 2, 2004, 3, 5, whatever. It goes up like that. Let's go from like winning 2 to winning 20. Red flags immediately. Something's gone on there. So that's what I'm more interested in. If they win a couple of golds, yeah, whatever. A lot of people are probably doing head abuse, right? So you could write it off. But if they suddenly win 10 to 15 after winning 2, that's an issue, right?
Yeah, but they've got over 1 billion people to choose from.
Yeah, but
like
it's
fucking.
They've always had over 1 billion.
So India. Where are they?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. I don't know. Like
they don't have the same infrastructure. I get what you're saying, but you can't just say, "Oh, they've got lost population. They should be winning all the medals."
No, but
Japan's got more people than Australia. They're not winning fucking medals in the pool either. So Asians just can't
have
swim.
You seen Japan? They can't swim. You're right. I'll give you that. They'll buy all the best gear and no idea.
I didn't want to say it. Bebbo said it. Yeah.
That's pretty true, though.
It's not racist if it's true. That's right. White people can't run. There you go. Evened it up. Or jump.
Yeah, there you go. We've
all got our strengths, and they can
triple
do
jump
maths.
Triple jump record is still a GB candidate, mate.
If the China swing team are winning the geometry event, then everyone's like, that's fine, no PEDs. If they start winning the 4x100 metre men or women's freestyle relay, 100% they're all on the gear. So
if Australia start winning table tennis, they're on gear.
No, that's just our multicultural nation, because every single person that represents Australia in table tennis is Asian. Every single one of them.
Oh, very good. Chris, did you go through your most favourite, or did we just jump in and ambush you?
He started.
I wasn't sure if you went through all of yours, or we just hung you up on the first one.
No. I went through all of mine. Yeah, and then I threw that little cat amongst the pigeon at the end of mine. So.
Water under the bridge, but I can't remember what we spoke about. But
He left his backpack at the Boston finish line. That's what he did, and he exploded this whole fucking podcast.
That's what we're here to do, though. Throw shit in the mix. And...
That's right, 100%.
Yeah, 100%. Well, I think genuinely, I hope the listeners do enjoy that, because I think there are varying opinions on this stuff, and it's not. I don't think it is black and white, and I think we've basically established that during this, and there's plenty of opinions out there. That's what we're here.
When it comes to being good at swimming and track, though, it 100% is black or white.
Yeah, kudos.
Where's the soundboard?
Right.
Where's it? We need a soundboard. What's going on? We need
but all in all, I think we agree with me, and that's great. So we can.
I think we all agree that Great Britain only somewhat comes decent on the tally because they join a heap of countries together, because individually they're all fucking useless.
Yeah, righto. No comment. All right, so as I said at the start, we've got a little bit of a different slant on our Massive Sports Cock of the Week, and this week we decided to, like I said, pay homage to the presidential candidate race in America, and with Joe Biden dropping out, we thought we would submit our sports-related presidential candidate. So I'm excited to hear what you chaps have come up with. We haven't spoken about this prior to the podcast, so we'll start with you, Chris. You teased us a little bit with your one, so what have you got?
Yeah, when you say Joe Biden dropping out / might be dead too, for all those conspiracy theorists out there, so follow that one. But
hasn't been seen in 5 days, apparently.
Correct. Yeah. Well, apparently there's footage without going down the road. I've done it again. I've dropped another thing at the Boston finish line. Yeah. So
get back to this. It's not sports related.
Yeah. So my one, I'm going to go with who I'd like to see president is Dana White. Obviously, being the solid businessman that he is, an excellent front man for the UFC. He's taken the UFC from where it was to where it is, and I think that America at this point in time needs a very strong person who's got a good business head on their shoulders, and I think Dana White would be that person.
Nice white male there, mate. Nice choice. Bebbo, who have you got?
Well, it's funny that Chris has that, because I actually thought of Dana White, but then I thought about the question more. I was like, who's going to be the Democrats' nominee in the election, right? Dana White is full Republican. He's Donnie's boy, so he's not going to go against him. Yeah. But I agree with you. Like, the diplomatic experience he's got with overseas, he's done a lot. So he probably has a career in politics moving down the line. But I've gone. He's
also not involved in team sports.
Yeah, no, he's not involved in team sports. You're right. But anyhow, look, he's eligible for the Olympics then. Look, since we're talking about the Democrats, though, and their left-wing, they're a left-wing political party who want to be as progressive and as inclusive as possible. So, look, it only makes sense to me that they take away the age barrier and they nominate retired female swimming champion Leah Thomas, as their nominee. Now, look, Leah has not only proven that she can adapt to do whatever it takes to win, but she's also showed that she's got the conviction to stand up to a totalitarian system that forces all people born with cocks to race against men. Say what you want about Leah. Sorry, my bad. Say what you want about her, but she has balls. And so she should, because she was fucking born with them. Vote one, Leah Thomas.
That's good.
I like the justification there. Oh, nice, mate. What would the slogan be? Give America balls again.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. I don't know.
I'll give you a couple of seconds to think of one.
Yeah. Come back to me.
But I'll walk you through my theory, and I had really good fun with this, so I hope listeners and you chats can appreciate it. So what I've done is I've taken some of the top attributes of all the presidents and candidates since 2016. So starting with Barack Obama, and I've gone for an unconfirmed US birth certificate. That was one of Trump's slogans when going up against him. I've also gone for, so Trump is next, obviously, dodgy money scandals and hush money and letting people take the fall for him. That's the attribute I've taken for Donald Trump. Then I've gone to Joe Biden, and I've gone down terrible communicator and struggles to speak English. And then I've also gone to Kamala Harris, who is obviously the not a confirmed Democratic candidate yet, but she was in charge of immigration as a time as vice president, and so I've put down a product of poor immigration control. So combining all of these attributes from candidates and presidents, I've gone for Shohei Ohtani, the baseball player for the LA Dodgers, because I feel like he epitomizes the best of America, and he obviously is not American, as potentially Barack Obama wasn't, according to Trump. So was also a very close second, as Bebbo and I were previously discussing on the podcast, Evander Holyfield, for his lack of ear, as Trump has got as well. So bit of a toss-up there, but yeah, had some fun with that one. So
I suggested it should be Mike Tyson instead, because he wouldn't just nick Trump's ear, he'd take the whole thing off.
He would have. So yeah, we'll have to throw those suggestions up on our Spotify poll again and see what the listeners agree with. I don't know if can we open it up to other suggestions as well, Bebbo? Can we get them?
Of course
submitting?
we can. If you got a good suggestion, just comment on Spotify and we'll throw it in a future episode. Now, while we're on that topic, we should probably go through last week's winner. So last week it was I voted for the Catalan Dragons trio, who skipped training and an international game to go to a pop concert in England to get fired. They got 0% votes. No one was on that, including me, after I heard the other candidates. Raymond Dasuran, I think he's the head of the Colombian football league or something, isn't he? Millsy, him and his son got into a fight and caused a bit of a ruckus after they lost the Copa America. I don't know.
Demerica. Yeah.
Demerica.
You nailed it.
Okay. And the winner was Chris's nomination, Ingrid Andress, who murdered the American anthem at the Major League Baseball All-Stars game. So well done, Ingrid.
I couldn't believe it.
Yeah,
And then blames mental illness like everybody that fucks up does these days.
She also claimed that she apologized for being drunk or something as well, I saw. Or
Yeah,
something
due to her
along those
mental illness, yeah.
Oh, okay.
It all came back to the mental illness guard. Well done.
Did you
Nice.
guys happen to catch the game on the weekend? The All Blacks played Fiji and San Diego.
Oh,
No.
another one. Was it?
Dead set. See if
Was
you
it
can
another
pull
good
it,
one?
see,
Oh,
see if you can
fuck.
pull it up. It was like I was watching it with my dad, and I was going, "What the fuck is this?" And then I was reading the New Zealand Herald the next day, and everybody in New Zealand was doing the same thing, just bagging the fuck out of it. It was really, really bad. Hopefully you've got video footage of it.
All right, it's up. All right, when you're ready, Chris.
Yeah, so just click on that. Yeah, it's the TikTok one I just sent you. Yeah, hit that.
All right, great. Here we go. I'm sorry in advance, listeners, and I'm sorry for my own eardrums, but here we go.
Probably the worst ever rendition of the New Zealand national anthem.
Can you chaps hear it?
Just wait.
Oh,
Just wait.
the
Wait.
faces of the players.
Just wait.
It looks like Manitou Alangi on the end, eh?
Wait. Just wait.
The faces. How do you
Terrible.
not laugh in that, eh?
Oh, it was terrible.
Oh, that's a shocker.
It was bad. It's not
Actually,
your thing.
why we just
It's
while
just
we were just
'cause
setting.
It's just diversity hires or what? Like, how do you hire a singer to sing a national anthem that can't fucking sing all the time? They got one job.
Yeah, it's bad.
If they're no good, doesn't matter what they fucking look like. Get one that can sing.
Well, I was just about to say to yourself, Bebbo, just come back, and I believe we should start a new segment, but not make it a weekly segment. We should just do Anthem Watch. Coming into the Paris Olympics, no doubt there'll be the wrong anthem played for the wrong winning nation or something like that. We want to be all over that. So if we can get all of our listeners, and obviously we'll be able to look at as well, to submit your worst ever anthem sung or any ones in the future, send them in and we will rip them to shreds and make sure they are well documented. So we should definitely start doing that because there's a few around and it's something that's going to continually happen.
100%.
And we'll probably get 50,000 submissions for God Save the Queen just sent through.
Oh, bloody oath.
It'll just be the same
14,000.
recording.
The king. God save the king.
Yeah, sorry, King. Who's the Queen?
Oh, is it actually changed or what?
Yeah, it's changed.
Are the
Yeah,
words
it's
changed? Is it just King?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it just King
Yeah.
replaced for Queen though, or is that it?
Yes.
Or is there
correct.
anything else
That's
different
it,
about
that's
the song?
it.
Yeah, right.
God
Give us
save
the
the
rendition.
King. Yeah.
Give us the
Right.
rendition,
His
Millsy.
Majesty.
Yeah, Millsy, give us the rendition.
We haven't got long enough for that.
Look,
I've got my voice, COVID.
While we're on
Yeah.
this pointless topic,
I've got a
I
standing
must-
desk.
I must say, I actually like the New Zealand national anthem. It's good.
What's your favourite anthem? Bit of a segue, but
I reckon I actually really like the New Zealand national anthem. But if you actually close your eyes and just listen to the music, it's Bar Bar Black Sheep playing in the background. I shit you not. It literally is Bar Bar Black Sheep playing in the background.
well,
It's amazing.
it wouldn't be any other song, would
What?
it?
No, well, it can't be.
No,
My
I mean,
favourite-
like, if there was a song that New Zealand were going to pick as their national anthem tune, it would
Yeah,
be
that's right,
that
can't
for
be.
sure, right?
Yeah.
Fuck you both. My
No-brainer.
my favourite my favourite's the Irish national anthem. I love it.
Or
The Irish
Scottish.
national anthem.
Scottish
yeah,
is good.
Or Scottish, yeah,
Is that
yeah.
I'm
But
coming
the
back
Irish,
to Brookston?
Well, of wild Scotland.
Yeah.
No, that's a good one.
yeah,
Um,
yeah, they're both good.
Most of the Six Nations teams are actually bloody good. Even Italy's, it's pretty uproaring. Just England's
Yeah.
is. Don't want to say it. It's
Oh,
not great.
Australia's
Well, they
shit
turn-
too, to be honest.
Yeah, they don't play in the Six Nations. They're shit at rugby. We just established that at the start. But the one I actually do quite like, and it pains me to say it, is the South African one as well. It's bloody long. It's got 4 verses, and it's in 4 different,
different
languages.
languages, yeah.
Languages spoken in the country, but that's pretty good. Yeah,
Ukulele
I do enjoy that.
Africa.
yeah.
I
But
like
I don't
that-
think if that was. I know we only got one language in English, right? But if that was sung by English, it wouldn't be good. For some reason, it just works in South Africa, right?
You have two.
Yeah.
You have multiple languages. Are you serious? What the fuck is Finna?
Oh, well, no, actually, you're right. Gaelic, or no, that's not English, but yeah, you know what I mean. They
I
sound
finna
like
a
white
bottle of water, Garth.
Scouse, yeah. Cockney, how you doing,
Cockney.
geezer?
Scouse, alright, mate.
Scouse. Oh god, it gives me shivers. I lived in Liverpool for 6 months and I started picking up some slang and I was like, gotta move to Australia, gotta get rid of that. I love these segues. We've done a couple in the last podcast, but yeah, we could talk forever. All right, before we go too far down the rabbit hole, let's finish on some NRL then. And as I said, Origin's been and gone, so we need to talk about that. But we're going to talk about coaching hot seats, and in particular, the future of the bottom 8 coaches. Obviously, the top 8 pretty cushy jobs right now. So, Bebbo, I'll let you let you take this one away, mate. Where do you want to take this topic?
Yeah, right. Well, look, yeah, the top 8 coaches aren't necessarily safe. A couple of them aren't anyway. We'll get to that. But bottom 8, South and Eels have already got new coaches coming in next year. Pointless to talk about. Des Hasler, only in the first year of his contract with the Titans. They were steadily improving before they got touched up in the second half against Manly. He'll be safe. Andrew Webster, suffering second-year syndrome over there at the Warriors. But when in history have the Warriors strung 2 good seasons together, Chris? Never? Is the answer never? All right. And
no.
look, Ricky Stewart's side's only 1 win out of the 8. Shane Flanagan's proving to be a coaching genius, having the Dragons even remotely in the finals hunt. So they should all be safe. So this is where we get to. So what about Adam O'Brien? We'll start with him. The Knights, they're 2 wins out of the 8 after they lost the Broncos on the weekend. But they've got a negative 97 for and against, which essentially makes them 3 wins out of the 8. Now, only signed a 3-year extension last year after the team caught fire and made the finals. Chris, do you reckon if they have a very poor finish to the season, I don't mean if they miss the finals, but if they are just non-competitive while the season ends, do you think that he should be in jeopardy of losing his job?
I think he should be, but I don't think he will be because, like you said, he just re-signed for another 3 years. I don't think they'll get rid of him that fast because, like you said, they had a decent run home at the back end to make the finals. And I think he could probably be excused if they do fall flat this year, but next year might be a different story. But no, I don't think. Look, I don't think. I think it's a tough one. I think the Knights will probably struggle to make the 8 with looking at the teams ahead of them. Looking at the team, what I mean ahead of them is looking at the teams currently in the 8 now, so they might struggle to get there anyway. But no, I think he's safe for this year. Next year will be a different kettle of fish, though.
What's your thought, Millsy? Okay, not even particularly whether he should get fired, but do you think, okay, he wasn't having great success. Like, he was having average success, had a couple of bad years, talked about getting fired at the start of last year. They go on a run. They don't just make the 8. They finished 5th. They make the second week of the finals. They lose in New Zealand. And he gets a 3-year extension. Now, do you think the Knights fucked up going, okay, well, you've come good at the end of the thing. Let's give you a 3-year extension. You think in that time you should say you don't have enough of a sample size to warrant 3 years. Let's give you 1 or 2 and see if you can consistently do that, and then we'll extend you longer.
Well, his agent's bloody good, isn't it? He deserves a bonus because he timed that to perfection. But I don't know. I'm stuck between a rock and a hard place. I think a bigger issue at the Knights is the whole KP saga. And I don't mean KP isn't a bad player. I just think he's relatively injury prone. He's 10 to 15% of the salary cap on one player. If he's not playing one match, you dropped out of a decent chunk of your salary cap. I don't think you can afford to really have a $1.5 million player when you should really be looking at trying to get to above average players who are not injury prone for probably $700K. That's what I think. That's the bigger issue. But the other problem is, like, who would you have to come in and replace him? You saw how hard it was for Parramatta to replace Brad Arthur, even though they wanted to get what's his name, Wayne Bennett. There's not heaps of coaches out there. Parramatta were looking at Michael Checker, for Christ's sake. They weren't looking at a plethora of coaches out there. I know Michael Maguire has shown interest in trying to get back to NRL coaching. Maybe he's a shout. Billy Slater definitely has unfinished business at Origin level. Said it. But I don't think they should part ways. I don't think the signing the 3-year contract was a bad thing necessarily. I just don't think there's much better situations out there. So, what's your thoughts, Bebbo? Who would you have to replace him if he did get let go?
I'm not saying they should fire him right now, and I'm not even saying they should fire him if they miss the 8. But if they struggle over the next, if they finish the season poorly, like their games where they're just getting blown out, then it shows you that he doesn't. All the good coaches have consistency to their name, right? All the good ones have consistency. If he's going to fluctuate up and down, up and down, up and down, he's not going to take him to a premiership. That's the end of the point. And I'm very disgusted that you brought KP into this. He's a fucking god amongst men. We're sorry, Colin.
I'm not taking anything away from him.
Proud listener of the podcast.
I'm just saying, like, his playing is not part of the problem. His burden on the salary cap. Like, don't get me wrong. Any team he goes to would be lucky to have him. I'm just more worried about the amount of salary cap, the level of percentage of salary cap that's tied up with him, rest of the squad, and he's not playing every match.
Yeah,
that's just what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's why the Broncos should get rid of Adam Reynolds and the Panthers should get rid of Nathan Cleary too, because they've missed too many games
But
this year.
they're not on the same.
They're burnt salary.
They're on.
You're telling me
Oh,
Nathan Cleary's not the same money? You're fucking off your tits, mate. You know, of course he is.
But you take Cleary out of that team, they're still winning, right? You take Ponga out of that team, and they're clearly a much worse.
There
team.
you go. It's not Ponga's fault, is it? It's the coach's job. It's the club's.
Well, I was going to say it's
There
the
you go.
roster. Correct. You're talking about them winning a premiership. I can't see them winning a premiership with that roster. So
But he
it's
hasn't
not-
made great
it's-
decisions. He can't even
it's-
settle on halves.
Yeah, well, that's what I was going to
But
go with. It.
who's going to be a better coach to come in and develop some of these players to a winning roster? You look at Melbourne. They've had players come out of nowhere this year, and now they're at the top of the table, 4 points ahead of Penrith. Like, you don't just buy Premiership quality players; you need to nurture them. But I don't know if there's enough talent around coaching wise to nurture the talent to get them to that status.
I think Melbourne's
Yeah,
different though.
well-
I don't think you can compare Melbourne and the Knights. Melbourne, that's a nursery of football. You know what I mean? Like that. And Penrith's obviously going in that same vein now as well. So you've got all these teams at the top end of town who are very, very good at doing this side of things. Then you've got the bottom end of town, and that's why they are where they are, because they can't do what they do. They can't nurture these players. Look at Jerome. We talked about this previously. Look at Jerome Hughes, sat in the wings of Cooper Cronk for so long, was a relative unknown. Now he's probably the greatest halfback in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, but look at Adam O'Brien, who sat in the wings of Craig Bellamy for so long too, because he came from Melbourne. But anyway, we'll move on because we're talking too long about this. But I think if they have a shit in the season, in short, I think he should be fired. I know his contract won't get him fired, but I think he should be. They need to. They're just fucking treading water otherwise. All right, we're going to go to the Broncos now. And this one's going to be contentious because Kevin Walters took the Broncos to a grand final last year. They're struggling this year now. We just saw Brad Arthur fired this year after a year and a half away from a grand final. Do you think, with the roster the Broncos have and the hype around them, if they don't even make the 8, would you even bother bringing Kevy back next year or move on?
No, I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't bring him back. No. I think. Like you mentioned, they made a grand final last year. Roster relatively unchanged. I know they lost. Well, they didn't really lose too many, right? And it really, what it comes down to with that team is Reynolds, right? When he's on the field, they're winning. When he's off the field, they're obviously no good. But you can't also. How long has he got left in him anyway? So you can't. You can't keep going on the hope that he's going to be good every week, and you know what I mean. He's just, you mentioned it before about injury prone, Millsy. I mean, he's notoriously injury prone. They knew that when he was coming to the Broncos too. But back to Kevin Walters, I just think that taking it from where they were last year to where they were this year, and just that dire run of what do they lose? 7 on the trot, 6 on the trot, 7 on the trot. I just think the rot has obviously set in at Red Hill, and I think they should be looking for a new head coach. And while they've got the roster that they do have, if they can try and turn things around in the next year or two with a new coach, you never know, they can get back to those winning ways. But yeah, he was on my list of all the coaches that we mentioned there, and you've already ticked off a few. He was definitely my one that I would be looking to move on.
Since you're an avid Broncos supporter, Millsy, what's your thought here?
I don't know whether it's set as a compliment or not, but I haven't
It
officially
wasn't.
decided who my team is yet. But I'll be short because we're, like you said, we're spending a bit of time on this. But yeah, I'd get rid. They're a way better roster than where they are, and they need a change. I think it's not roster is an issue. I think they need better leadership at the top.
And since you nitpicked on the Olympics thing before, I'm just going to nitpick on this a little bit. Who would you replace him with, Millsy? We've already talked about it. There's not that many other good coaches out there. No, I agree. I honestly think that last year was a fluke. They made the grand final. They could have won it. They butchered it like it's one of Jeffrey Dahmer's fucking homosexual dates. That was it. That was their shot. That was the window. It's closed. They've got no mental fortitude. Half those players, I actually got a comment from a mate of mine after Origin this week saying Queensland lost because of the immature egomaniacal floggery of Broncos players. And I know he's just referring to Cobbo and Walsh, right? Because Paddy Carrigan's a fucking legend. But he's right. He's spot on. That whole we're better than everyone persona has drifted in, and they don't play better than everyone. I guarantee you that much. So they'll probably end up this season, the way things are going, as the fourth best team in Queensland. So have fun with that, Broncos supporters. All right. Okay, I'm going to go to the Cowboys now. Todd Payton. Now, I know the Cowboys are in the 8, and they were one game within a grand final 2 years ago as well. But he's in the same boat as Kevin Walters for me. It's fourth year into the job, just one finals appearance today. Cowboys have 6 State of Origin players in their side this year. Another one was in the extended squad last year in Drinkwater, and probably 2 or 3 more that'll feature over the next year or two. So if they miss the finals for the third time in 4 years, I think he's gone. What do you guys think about that?
Well, I agree. I just want to say the other player that's not mentioned is Taumalomo, who is awesome as well in short bursts. So he should not be taken out of that. I mean, but that's part of the player management, which I agree with what you're saying, Bebbo, is they just haven't managed their players well enough. You need to rely on people like Jason to bring him through those origin times. And I mean, they've done all right since then, but I agree. I'm not seeing the progress I'd like to see. They've taken a step back this season. It's a bit worrying.
Yeah. Well, I think he's just been stubborn in his selection criteria. And look, I actually think Jason Taumalolo's been awesome since Origin started this season. But you look at guys like decisions Peter he's made in the past.
That wobble, didn't he? With him. And that was just
100%.
a weird thing.
100%. Yeah, but you look at the decisions Peyton's made in the past, like when he kept Peter Hiku in the centres for one more year and let the Hammer leave. Like, imagine the Hammer in that back line right now. So he's doing the same thing with Chad Townsend. You've got Jay Clifford. You've got Tom Duffy. You've got Jackson Perdue. I know he's drip feeding Jackson Perdue in, but there's better players to replace these veterans, and I feel he's putting a handbrake on this team. Do you see that, Chris? Or
Yeah, I agree, mate. I would get rid of him. I'd put Josh Hannay in as well. I'd give Josh Hannay a go at the head coaching role. I think
the clubby debut, That's
You disagree?
No. I'm saying it's like it's a little bit theatrical too. He debuted as a Cowboy, as a teenager. He comes back to be their saviour, 100%. No, I don't mind it.
Yeah. No, I think so. I think he's had enough time, and I think they've got a decent enough roster up there. I agree. So I think get rid of him and bring in Josh Hannay. It's a great roster. Yeah.
All right, this last one. And this last one's going to sound a bit stupid after the last 2 performances, but I think about the 6 weeks prior. Anthony Seibold. Now, I know it's tough. He's only his second year as well, but I feel that if they started the season so red hot, they went dead, they've come good for 2 weeks. If they fail to make the 8, they've already had contract extensions break down. Do you think Anthony Seibold is a coach that can get you over the hump? We'll start with you, Millsy.
I've got a bit of a pet peeve with Seibold for his time in England rugby under Eddie Jones, and I don't know. I'm just not seeing it. I don't know what it is. I just don't get a good feeling. I feel as though, but again, it's who do you replace him with? Is there anyone better than him? I just don't know. But I just don't. I would get rid, but it's easy for me to say that in this position. I agree with you saying that, Bebbo. You can't just look at the previous 2 weeks. I'm just not seeing the progress. Like, I feel as though, if not now, when for Manly they've got a few players, not DC and stuff getting older. They need something to, I don't know. They don't need necessarily a coach, because I feel like the players almost coach themselves in that team. But they need some guidance, someone to take some pressure off, be better in the press, and I just don't think Seibold's that fella.
Players almost coaching themselves is the worst thing you could ever hear from a team. I'll tell you that much. That's
Unless
why they don't
DCE,
win.
mate.
But really, because DCE's played fuck all finals in the last 10 years, so I don't know if that's a great statement right there. What's your thoughts, Chris?
Yeah, I'd let Seibold go. I've never really really rated him as a coach when he was at the Bronx, when he was at the Bunnies. You know, like, no, I don't really rate him, and I think Manly's a tough one. Yeah, they started the year really well, like you said, and do look good in patches. And even though they won the last two, I still had them losing on the weekend. I still backed against them.
Yeah,
but,
me too. Yeah.
So I don't know. I think they're always just a coin toss at the moment, and you can't be a coin toss in this competition, unfortunately. So, again, you look at their roster. They've got it. They do have, albeit to your point, Millsy, they do have some aging players in there, and a lot of injury-prone players. You go to Turbo and the likes, but I just think that. They're a coin toss, mate, and you can't be a coin toss. And I think they just need to try and look at someone else. Who they go to, that is $1 million question for all these teams, and I think that's why a lot of them do kind of hang on, because it's better the devil you know than going off into the unknown.
I'll accept that for Seabale because he's 2 years in, right? But better the devil you know, in situations like the Broncos or the Cowboys, like we talked about, 4 years, better the devil you know means that you're happy to be mediocre. That's what that means. I would rather have a chance at being great or maybe being shit than finishing fucking ninth every year. So I don't know if better the devil you know is the way to approach a coach that hasn't got you there. And not even remotely close there. Like, I mean, we're talking about... I was actually stood up for Brad Arthur for a long time. This year, or the start of this year, actually predicting to get fired this year, so nailed it. Fucking long range, nothing but net. But I was a big fan of him, even though he didn't win a grand final. He was finishing the top four consecutively, like year after year after year after year after year. It's like, okay... People are like, well, he can't get them there. They need someone else to take him there. But that's still a pretty good achievement, finishing top four every year. Everyone's coming to win. It's not fucking junior football. You know, you can't just be good and that be enough. Everyone is elite. So that's fine. But if Seabale didn't make the finals last year, doesn't make it this year, that's really telling. And you'd want to be pretty confident he can make it the year after. Otherwise, you're just wasting another year, which is what Parramatta did this year by holding on to Brad Arthur, and it's what South did this year by holding on Jason Demetrio, sorry, my bad.
COVID's really taken over. I'm flagging here, boys, but luckily it's the last segment now. So, financial advice multi. Need to mention the results last week with Bebbo, or is there any point in...
No, there's no issue in the results because we went 0-3.
Yeah, that's all right. All right, I'm going to start with myself, and then that'll be it for me talking because, like I said, I'm struggling bad here, but we turn up. I've just gone flat out West Indies to beat England in the cricket, which is a tasty 12-1. I've done a reverse psychology. If England win, I'll be happy. If West Indies win, I'll be even happier. So, go Windies.
Do you want me to go next, Bebbo? I'll hit mine.
You go.
Roger that. All right, I'm going two-leg this week. I'm going to go DWZ anytime against the Tigers, and I'm going to go Critter to score against the Broncos. That is paying $4 something for mine.
I think it's about $3.80 something. $3.90.
No, $4.35. $4.35 it is here.
Is it?
Yep, $4.35
Right.
on Sportsbet.
Well
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Well, I've gone a one-legger myself, and I've gone to the NRLW because, you know, it's a progressive podcast to hear. I believe that we should be paying more attention to women's sport and the role it plays in society for young women and all that sort of jazz. I've found some juicy odds because I feel like the NRLW Cowboys team is not that bad this year. Don't really rate the Sharks outside of two players, and they're paying $5 to beat the Sharks by 1 to 12 points this week. So I've taken those juicy $5 odds. So all that multi together and power played is a whopping $311.34 on Sportsbet.
Jesus.
I hope you've been
Safest
free for
houses.
alone this week. Drop it all on. And gamble responsibly.
Well, the skin's almost worn off it. So that's us for this episode. Please follow us on our socials. Search for Masturbated Sports on Facebook and Instagram.
Subscribe to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or wherever it is that you get your podcasts.
And most importantly, join us again next episode for some more engaging discussions,
Diverse perspectives.
And to experience the friction of masturbated sports.
And when you're gone with